They say never doubt James Cameron, but maybe we should start. Welcome back to Archer Vision, presented by MovieArcher.com and the Movie Archer Podcast Network. My name is Nico, and yes, we are going back to Pandora with James Cameron's Avatar: Fire and Ash. Jake Sully and his family are still dealing with grief around the loss of their son. They encounter a new tribe, the Ash people, and when those villains team up with Quaritch himself, a whole series of events and consequences unfold. I'm not big on these films. I don't really love the first one. I don't really love the second one. I don't hate them. I don't think they're terrible. I don't think they're the worst thing in the world. And I actually understand how they end up being these audience spectacle masterpieces of box office, to where they're $2-3 billion films. There's just something about them that never struck me. It was not the fact that they look incredible and that they're pushing technology. I think that's there. There's no doubt James Cameron is a king of spectacle. He is a king of innovation, and there's no doubt that his imagination is vast, and this world of Pandora is very interesting and beautiful, and it's impossible to not get swept up in it. I just always felt like the stories and the characters just were not engaging enough to me. I didn't think we were exploring things that were really that original and were really that unique and strong and well told, to the point where it ever got a strong emotional reaction from me. Believe me when I say I have wanted to be a part of it. So when I saw this first trailer for Fire and Ash, I got to see it in theaters. It was a very special experience. I thought the trailer was awesome, and I was really excited for this movie, and I thought, could this be the movie that helps me fully buy into the world of Avatar by Mr. Cameron? And I'll just be honest, my answer is both yes and no, because this is my favorite of the three, yet I think it's the weakest and the one that has the most problems. And I know that sounds insane and it probably doesn't make sense, but I'll try to make sense of it. This movie, the opening act, I think is very strong. I mean, visually, I saw this in Dolby 3D, one of the ideal ways to see it. I was very fortunate to do so. So right away, visually, I was swept up. It is stunning. The 3D, what Cameron does with this technology, in my opinion, there are so many moments that looked better than the first two, and the way he plays with the frame rates, it is very interesting, and as a visual spectacle, it was a feast. He also knows how to do action, right? The set pieces are bigger, bolder, louder, sharper than the other two films combined, and the third act in this film, the setting of the final battle and the way that thing escalates and moves, it was man, it's what you go to the movies for. It's what blockbuster cinema should be. It really is the standard, and it's a standard that no one else can touch besides the man himself. I also thought the Ash people, the Fire Tribe, was very interesting and really awesome, and that's all thanks to Una Chaplin's performance as Varang here. Probably my favorite character in the Avatar franchise. She is so mesmerizing. She is so compelling. She's so menacing, and she's so fierce, and also she's pretty seductive and hot. The most bizarre part of this movie is the movie's kind of hot. The movie's kind of sexy at various points. Like, James Cameron let his freak get on here, and actually it kind of worked and added something very different to the experience. I can't lie to you. But going back to the tribe, they're much more primal, they're much more violent, and they form a relationship with Quaritch, the villain, and actually that antagonistic pair becomes very interesting, the way their relationship plays out. And I do think the rivalry between Quaritch and Sully, in this movie, 3 films later, it does feel a little more realized. So the look, the feel, the Fire Tribe, some of the character dynamics and the action, it's like, okay, I was entertained. My problems lie with, with everything else. I still think the screenplays in this franchise are really rough. I think the dialogue is really cringe, and the plots are just so repetitive. This movie does not need to be as long as it is. I hate saying that. There is so much stalling. There's so much scenes. I know Cameron, there's an interview where he said, why are there all the scenes of the swimming and the ships and because he wants to see them, and he thinks I get it, but it's so many parts of this movie are so disengaging, and especially because this movie does feel beat for beat like Way of Water, especially in the final act. And I know there's defense of that, people saying, well, it was going to be one film, and then they had to split it in 2 parts. There's 2 too much story, there was too much script. I think that's fine, but that's also a creative choice made by James Cameron himself. He wrote a second part that was too ambitious, too big, and couldn't possibly address all these things, so they had to split it in two, and he also chose to call it Fire and Ash, a completely different movie, not The Way of Water Part 2. If this was The Way of Water Part 2, I might have felt better about it and have been more kind to certain parts of it, but it is presented as Fire and Ash as this different story, and it really ends up being just more of the same. I mean, it started as a Pocahontas ripoff that really turned into just the most basic, watered down, apparent version of colonialism through 3 films. Those themes really don't change, and they try to throw in things like family dynamic and grief, found family, coming in your own skin, but I just don't think any of it is done well enough. These characters aren't written well enough. I think if you really like and have a connection to these characters and you have been able to do that, I think a lot of it will work for you, but for me, not really. It's more of the same. The character of Jake Sully, I feel like his arc was played out in the first movie, and now he's just a character who keeps being so conflicted and doesn't know what to do, and he keeps putting his family in bad position after bad position. I mean, the plots, the beats of this movie, I could almost come up with them myself. Character gets kidnapped or character gets captured. Character gets rescued in action sequence. Reset the board, reestablish that. Another character gets captured or villain imposes himself here and there's a need to escape, and other people die and get affected, all because our character is just running away the whole time. Am I saying skip it? No. Am I saying go see it? Probably. I think it's worth the price of admission, especially in Dolby 3D. It's going to be unlike anything you've seen before. I want to give it credit that Ash, the fire people are interesting, but they're really heavy in the first act, then they're really abandoned and sidelined for the rest of the film. The Una Chaplin performance was amazing. I wish I saw more of it. Jake Sully and his family, there are moments of charm, there are cool moments between them, but they're still not realized enough, nor do they share enough screen time together where I even really understand or buy their family dynamic and the dialogue of so much exposition and them telling you every single thing and screaming certain quotes at you to try to invoke reactions. It just, unfortunately, it doesn't all come together for me. So I think it has the most glaring problems of the 3. I think if you have issues with the Avatar franchise, the 3rd film is where they're going to be the most apparent. But the Fire Tribe and the action and the advancement of technology, I think, make it my favorite of the 3. It's awkward that this is like the only one I kind of want to revisit because there are flashes of things that I feel like were different, but the experience as a whole feels kind of the same. Make a lot of money, but I don't know. I saw the reactions that night. I think it's still going to be more. I think the critic reactions are going to be less than the first 2, but we'll see what the audience says. They are always the judge, jury, and executioner of all these films. I'm giving it a solid 6.5 out of 10 if we're going with the letterbox. I'll still say a 3 out of 5 because the imagination is there. The world of Pandora is there. Like I said, that 3rd act is so sweeping and sprawling and just gorgeous to look at, and it's really an epic set piece to where I have to give a lot of credit to what Cameron is doing. He's at least trying to give you the most out of the price of that ticket when you sit down in that seat, so I have to give him credit there. But when you go see Avatar Fire and Ash, please let me know what you think about it. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Agree with me, disagree with me, tell me I'm crazy. It does not matter to me. I just want us to keep talking about the theatrical experience. So go see Avatar, have a wonderful holiday season, and I cannot wait to hang out with you all again very, very soon.